Hey everybody, welcome to a new video, and today's video is a follow-up of the PlayStation Store closing. I do want to show you guys this. On the PSN crossbar here on the PS3, the way you would re-download your games is to go to PlayStation Network, and you go all the way up to the top here, you go to account management. Now, this is not exactly going to the store, but it's going to your transaction management that you had with the store over whatever time you've been buying games from the store. So go to transaction management and you see there download list. This is everything you have downloaded on your time on the PlayStation Network on the PS3. So Vita games will be in here, PSP games, PS1, PS2, pretty much everything will be in here. Even some stuff you might have on the PS4 and PS5 might show up, but you won't be able to download it, of course. But I just wanted to kind of clear it up with you guys. So if you're wondering like, hey, how do I re-download my games if the store closes? Well, this is how you do it. I kind of feel like this is a secret menu that people don't know about. And if you notice something here, this is how the original PlayStation Store looked, if you see how the layout is here. Now, in this video, we're going to go over around 50 games that you should probably buy for the system before the store closes. And I've kind of went over categories of systems like the PS3, PS2 games, and PS1 stuff. Now remember, we are focusing on the PlayStation Store games and items. So if something came out on another system, that's fine, but maybe some people don't have that system. Also too, we know people could get these games through emulation, but remember, some people want their stuff legit, and you know, adding that stuff to their account is totally fine with them. So just remember that before you say, hey, you can emulate these games. Like I said, some people want their stuff legit. They want to help out the companies or whatnot, so there's that. Alright, first I'll talk about the PSN/PS3 games on the list. First game, Beyond Good and Evil HD. A fantastic game that got overlooked when it first came out on the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox back in the day. It's something that I think a lot of people still need to get into. It has a sequel coming out pretty soon, so hopefully that we'll get more information on that. The next game here, Hydrophobia. I talked about this game on my channel a lot. I really like this game, even though it didn't meet its potential, but for $2, I think it's definitely worth picking up on the system. Next game, Ducktales Remastered. Now, we know what happened with Ducktales Remastered when it first got delisted. A lot of people were going after the physical copy of the game, and now that those are, I'm not saying they're hard to get now, but you know, if you want a digital version of the game, now's the time to get it. They did a really good job on this game. They brought a lot of the voice actors back. It was just a really good experience. And I really wish they did part 2, but hey, I'll take what I could get with this one. Persona 4 Arena Ultamax, a really good fighting game. Probably one of the only Persona games I'll play these days. Really unique game made by Arc System. They did a really fantastic job on this one, and not a lot of people know it exists, so this is on the network as well. Next game here, Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. This is a remake of the Genesis game, and they did a really good job, especially with the narration of the game. It's pretty easy compared to the old version, but still definitely worth getting. Next game we have Sonic 4 Part 2. This game is one of my favorite Sonic games, believe it or not, and one of the reasons I really liked it because it was a true sequel to Sonic CD, which is probably my favorite Sonic game of all time. Yeah, it was missing a couple things in it, you know, they could have did a better job with certain things, but hey, still a pretty good game. Definitely check this one out. Next game here is Amy, a survival horror game. I talked about this on Jason's channel years ago, and I probably shouldn't have because this game is not as good as I thought it was back when I first played it. Has a lot of problems with it, but it is a survival horror game, and I give all games survival horror a little bit of love. What I did like about the game is that it had like it was a nice story of a woman trying to save a little girl, so I'll just say that. But it is a survival horror game that is an escort mission, so just remember that going in it. Then of course we have Sonic CD, which is still available on the network. This is a cool version of the game because you can actually mix the soundtracks up from the Japanese version and the US version, which ones you want to hear during gameplay. So there's that option as well. 1942 Joint Strike. This is one of the very first shoot 'em ups I had on my PS3. Not a lot of people really know it exists on there. It's one of the older titles that was on the PlayStation Network. Still here. You can play online with friends, so a shoot 'em up you can play online with people. That's awesome. Yeah, something for you guys to try out. Next up, Street Fighter 3 Online Edition. This is probably my favorite version of Street Fighter 3. They kind of try to give the game like a I would say a coat of paint. I would say And I love the soundtrack on here. I just like how they mix things up, where the options you could do, like certain tasks you could do while you're trying to fight your opponents. Very cool. Street Fighter 3 is my favorite. Well, I have to say Street Fighter 3 Fight for the Future, which is the third installment of the Street Fighter 3 games. My favorite Street Fighter game of all time. So definitely, think you should pick this one up. Next up, you have Dungeons and Dragons Collection. It comes with Dungeons and Dragons Tower of Doom and Shadows of Mystara. Very good beat 'em up games. Old school Capcom. Definitely something I think a lot of people need to try out if they haven't already. Then we have Chaos Code, what I would call a hidden gem fighter. An updated version came out on the PS4, but still I thought it was just good to let people know about this version that's on the PS3. So it's still there, still a really good game. Something I think definitely a lot of fighting fans should check out. Then we had Double Dragon Neon. Yes, I know Double Dragon Neon actually came out for the Switch recently, but still, for people who want to get it on the PS3 with those trophies. And just a really cool, funny take on the Double Dragon series. It's kind of like a reimagination of the first game, I would say. And I think WayForward did a really good job on this one. I'm hoping someday that this game actually gets a physical release, but, who knows. Alright, so now we have Hard Corps Uprising. It's a damn shame this game has not got released in a physical format. And, I just feel like this is pretty much the only way to get the game right now. So add it to your account. So here's hoping one day, but this is probably one of the best Contra games I've ever played. The story is compelling. The animation is just well done. It's just everything about this game. I just feel like this is awesome. And not a lot of people know it exists, unfortunately. But hopefully, you guys will spread the word. Next up is Daytona USA. I think this is probably one of the best versions of the game out there. It originally came out on a Saturn, but this one is pretty much arcade perfect. So if you like racing games, Daytona USA is still around. One of the coolest games on the network is actually House of the Dead Part 4. That has not been released on anything else. I believe it's exclusive to the PS3 and arcades. So definitely something you want to check out. And also House of the Dead 3 is on the PlayStation Network as well. So you can kind of get them in a bundle, I believe. Alright, so next game is Fast Draw Showdown. This is a laser disc game from back in the day. And it's one of those FMV games where you aim at the screen and kind of shoot enemies. It's pretty funny. If you remember that NES game called Wild Gunman, you kind of know what to expect here. You have to use your move controller to kind of aim and shoot at the enemies on the screen. It's hilarious stuff, but it's here on the network if you guys want to try it out. Next up, we have Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 on the network. I don't know which one I'm more of a fan of. I feel like I'm more of a fan of Adventure Part 1, but I love the story in Part 2. Both really fun games. Both are their director's cuts versions, so I believe they're like the GameCube version in high definition or whatnot. But I could be wrong about that, not really sure. But anyways, they're on here. They're fun games. Definitely check them out. Galaga Legions DX. I didn't know too much about this game, but I did like the footage I saw here, so I wanted to go ahead and include it in the list. Next game here is Pac-Man Championship DX. This game is freaking awesome. This is the game that got me back into Pac-Man. Definitely check this game out. If you guys are familiar with the Rocket Knight adventure games, well, here is Rocket Knight, the last game in the series so far. A direct sequel to the Genesis games. Pretty much another company picked up the helm and tried to make a good Rocket Knight game. It's up to you to decide if it's a good game or not. I actually enjoyed it and beat the game, but I don't know if as many people enjoyed it like I did. Next is Nights into Dreams. This version of the game actually comes with Christmas Night, so just remember that. You get kind of like two games in one in a way. If you know about Christmas Nights, you know that was kind of a big deal for me back in the day, you know, with the whole Saturn clock issue and all that stuff. But definitely a really fun game. Nights was lucky enough to get a sequel on the Wii, but we haven't heard from the series since. So, you know, in the Saturn version of the game is really expensive. So, it's expensive as far as I know, but this is the cheapest option to get the game right now. So check this one out. Next up, we have Gang Wars. This is kind of like a SNK game before SNK became SNK. It's a funny beat 'em up game. I know a lot of people don't know about this one, but as far as I've seen, it's only available on the PlayStation Network. And this was one of the, if you remember the PlayStation Minis, this was a part of that series. Next up is Castlevania Harmony of Despair. This is a Metroidvania Castlevania game, but you can play up to 4 players online, which is freaking awesome. It has its own little story, lots of remixed music and everything like that. You go visit older levels for older games. It's just not a lot of people know this game exists, unfortunately, and this is another one of those games that needs a physical release. And we have Mars Warlogs. I remember when this game came out, and I'll compare it to this. Think of Mass Effect if Mass Effect was a beat 'em up game. That's the only way I can describe this game. Yeah, it has somewhat high production values. They poured their hearts out into this game, but it's up to you to decide if it was really worth it. And now we have Rain for the PS3, also known as Lost in Rain. This is a fantastic game, and the physical copy of this game, the Asia English version, is so expensive now. You know, I believe it goes from $500 to like $1,000. I'm not really sure. I could be off on that, but it's definitely worth getting the digital copy over the physical if you don't want to drop that type of money on it. This is one of the first games I reviewed on my channel. Still to this day, one of my favorite PS3 games. It's really unique, and it's kind of, I want to call it survival adventure game, I would say, because the horror, it may not be like scary for some people, but it is creepy in some points because you're being stalked by a monster that you can only see in the rain. So it's really unique. It changes up. It's just one of those games. It's just, I don't know, it's just really unique. Definitely check this one out. And that's gonna do it for the PS3 games on the PSN. Now we're gonna move on to the PS2 games that I think are worth getting on the PSN right now. Alright, so first game here, Suikoden 3 and 4 are on the PSN for PS3. Fantastic games. Part 3 is probably the best selling Suikoden game out there. A lot of people still haven't played it to this day. And I don't know what the prices are going for a physical copy, but like I said, this is a cheap option for you to get the game if you like what you're seeing here. Also, the Fatal Frame series is on the PSN on PS3. My favorite being the third game, which is a weird choice for a lot of people. But most people like the second game the best. But like I said, all 3 Fatal Frames are on here. Very good survival horror games, very creepy. I'm hoping one day that they actually port these to the Switch. But anyways, here they are on the PS3. Next up, we have another expensive game here now. This is God Hand. I got this back when it first came out. I love this game, and the game is very expensive now to get it on as a physical. So I think getting it for $10 on the PlayStation Network is a good option. A fun beat 'em up game, lots of funny humor. It could be pretty tough if you don't know what you're doing. So make sure you're adding the right combos to your characters so you can do a massive beatdown on your opponents, because the opponents are pretty smart in this game, but still a lot of fun. Next up, we have my favorite Grandia game on here. This is exclusive to the PS2, but they actually ported it to the PS3. I know a lot of people, this is not a lot of people's favorite Grandia game, but I think it's actually the best one in the series, in my opinion. I really like the game a lot. They really it just improved on a lot of stuff from the older games. You know, the story could be meh for some people, but I think the gameplay makes up for it. So definitely check this one out. Another one here, we have Castle Shishigami Part 2. This is a cool shoot 'em up game, but just be prepared. If you pick this game up, the voice acting is pretty horrific. It's actually so bad, it's funny. I don't want to say it's good, but it's just funny. But anyways, really good shoot 'em up game. Definitely check this one out. You also have Capcom vs SNK 2 available on here. Capcom vs SNK 2 is I think one of the greatest fighting games of all time. You have 2 of the greatest publishers out there, SNK and Capcom, coming together to make a game, and I think it just was awesome. I mean, they almost made a third game. Unfortunately, it never came through, but still, we have this one on the PlayStation Network, so definitely try this one out if you haven't already. Then this next one was a surprise to me. If you're a fan of the Deception series, Tecmo's Deception series, they had a spin-off game to that series called Trap. Trap came out on PS2, and I had no idea it was on the PlayStation Network until my buddy X told me about it. So Trap is another good game on there. Just hard to explain how this game is. You set traps for people that are trying to kill you in certain areas in this game. You're like living in this mansion out in the middle of nowhere, and I think you're kind of treated as a witch, and people are trying to come slay you and everything. So you have to set traps for them, and when they break into your mansion, pretty crazy game. Definitely hidden because a lot of people don't even know it exists. And now we are moving on to the PS1 games. These are very hidden on the PlayStation Network now. They're just like, there's like no category for them where you can just like look them all up. I had a hard time finding these, but I found a bunch of them, so here we go. Legend of Dragoon is a must-have RPG. This game took 5 years to develop, and it's one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Can't say enough good things about it. A lot of people want a sequel to it. That'll never happen because the production values were so high for the first game. I couldn't imagine what they would be for the second game if they made it. But we have this one here. Definitely check this one out. The next game here, you know, the Mega Man Legends games are expensive as hell, so this is the best way to get them. If you get them for the price you see them on here right now, $5.99, I think that's your best option for them. You get Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. And also the next game here, which I feel like is a part of the Mega Man Legends games, Tron Bond. Tron Bond, one of the most expensive PS1 games out there. You can get on here for like $6. So that's pretty damn awesome in my opinion. Next up, we have Parasite Eve 1 and 2. I'm more of a fan of Parasite Eve Part 2. I love that game. And actually, what's weird, somebody sold a copy of the game on eBay for over $200 recently. And I was like, what the hell is going on with people, man? That's crazy. But hey, some people got money to burn, I guess. So there's that. But on here, you get it under $10. All right, so very important PS1 games they'll probably get on this list. Suikoden 1 and Part 2. I know some people call them Suikoden or whatever like that. I've been calling it Suikoden, so I'm just sticking with that. But anyways, really good RPG. Suikoden 2 is really expensive, and this is a very cheap way to get the game and enjoy the experience. They're both really good games. Suikoden 1 is really short, but it's really cool how they lead into each other. And you can also like use your save off in the first game to transfer a character over to the second game, which is really cool. Definitely check these games out, guys, if you haven't played them yet. There's so many good things about the Suikoden games. It's just, it's a shame that some people haven't played them yet. Grandia, of course, introduced me to the series. I like the game a lot, and I think a lot of people should play this one. A really good RPG, very funny voice acting, cool moves, cool spells, cool story that changes up. I've never played an RPG like this where certain characters will just leave, I thought that was crazy. Like when you get characters in the RPGs at the time when I played them, who you got stayed with you, but this game, you never know who's going to stay with you or leave. So very, very, I want to say, emotional RPG. And next up we have Alondra. Alondra's my buddy Joel. This is like his favorite game on the PS1, or well, RPG at least. And Alondra, I liked Alondra a lot, but man, those puzzles are brutal. I mean, gosh, they give you no clues, but still a fantastic game. A lot of people, probably know that Alondra is very expensive now if you get a physical for it. So, hey, here's a cheap option for you. Next up, we have Castlevania Chronicles. Castlevania Chronicles came out on PS1, and nobody knew it. I think it came out as a budget title, like for $40, but now the game's gone up. So here's another cheap option to get it. Then you have Resident Evil 1 through 3. My favorite, you guys know, is Part 3. I was hoping the remake would be better, but hey, at least I got the original to hold it down. So you get these on here for cheap. Also, you have Dino Crisis 1 through 2. Dino Crisis, I can't say enough good things about this series. I love the first one, and I love the second one as well, even though it changed things up. These games have become more expensive now, so here is the best option to get them on the cheap. Then we have Silent Hill, one of the scariest games ever made. That's gone up for physical, so this is another option to get the game. I can't say enough good things about Silent Hill, but it's one of those survival horror games that you don't really want to play too much because it's too creepy. I even have a hard time playing the game again because it's just like too dang scary. Next up we have Chrono Cross. Chrono Cross, I just thought I should add on here just in case, because I don't know, I just felt like it was needed to be on here. I love that game more than the original Chrono Trigger. I know that's kind of controversial, but that's the way it is. But you can get it on here for cheap. And next up we have Klonoa, another expensive PS1 game. You see the price on here. Well, I mean, the price is not going to change on the PSN, but you get this one for under $6. Totally worth it. And another thing I want to mention, because this is the last PS1 game before I go to the next category, these games, PS1 games, could be downloaded onto your Vita and PSP as well as your PS3, so you can play them on 3 different formats. And also the Vita TV is included in that, even though I count it as the Vita itself. But just wanted to let you guys know that. And also, okay, well, I guess we're into the last section here. There's some Japanese PS1 games on the PSN, but they are definitely hard to find. I'm only going to do a couple of them in this video. If this video does well, maybe I'll do another video and add some more games to this list. But the first game here, one of the most expensive PS1 games in Japan. This is even rare in Japan. Shoot 'em up. Gaia Seed is on the PSN, and a lot of people don't even know about it. Gaia Seed goes for almost over $400 now. It's close to that game Harmful Park, and I just feel like this is the best way for people to play the game, because ain't nobody trying to drop that type of money on a game unless money's no object to them. I mean, that's insane. But one of my favorite shooters of all time. I actually did a video on this years ago, and when I typed the game, my video was like the only one that popped up. It's like barely anybody knows this game exists. But if you like what you're seeing here, definitely pick it up. And next we have Wolfang. Wolfang is another game I feel is hidden out there. It's like, I want to call it more of a running gun mech game. You could change the weapons on your mech, and if your mech actually blows up, your character could like leave the mech and like continue to fight until another mech comes into the screen for you to jump into. Very well done game, but unfortunately nobody knows about it. But it is on the PlayStation Network, so check that one out. And last on this list is Sonic Wings. Sonic Wings, another shoot 'em up, a really good game. Most people know it as Arrow Fighters, I believe, but this version is called Sonic Wings Special. What it does, every time you play the game, the first level is the same, but all the levels after that are random pretty much. So you always have a different experience playing this game. So there's that. So with this list out of the way, I hope you guys find something that you want on the PlayStation Store before it actually closes. Like I said, as of this video, I mean, there's no real official announcement from Sony yet, but we just feel, everybody feels like it's coming. So just be prepared, because if it's gone, I mean, you won't have access to these games again unless you already downloaded them before the store closed. So there's that. But I want to thank everybody for watching this video. If you liked the video, I'll possibly do another one if you guys want it. It's really annoying trying to navigate through the PlayStation 3 store. It's just like so laggy and annoying. You might have to type a lot of these games in to find them pretty easy, but all the information's out there for you guys, so hopefully you'll take it and know what to do with it. Anyways guys, that's all I got for you in this video. Thank you for watching. Radical Reggie, and I will see you all later.